All right, folks, we're back, and just in time for this best of 5 finals. Spawning here in the lower right, representing Splice. It's going to be the blue Zerg player, Solar. Solar.
You sound like an announcer or something. Solar. On the top left as the yellow Protoss, it's Neeb.
I hate the way Wolf says it, and every time I say it, I try and say it to see if it sounds natural. It's like a sound check, and it just doesn't. It just sounds weird.
Oh, I don't know about Wolf. I don't really watch a lot of SSL casts, but when In Control says Kelliger,
super consistently too. Hey guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. I guess we gotta give a quick shout out to the Patreon for this before we get too far into it. Find more information on patreon.com/Olimoleague. It's the only place you can get replays from today's tournament. But on top of that, while you're at it, guys, it doesn't cost you anything. Hit the follow button if you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you don't miss out on any BaseTradeTV action, as we're going to be constantly casting a lot over the month of August. It's going to be a bit of a slow start as it's been so far, but we're going to be getting into it more and more as the weeks come by. Yeah. Alright, well, for the series, I really don't know who I give it to. I actually think Solar is just a fantastic Zerg player. He's already displayed that he's one to do lurkers and other stranger things in the matchup, so it's not a question of, like, can he beat Neeb? The tactics are there, it's just a matter of, will he beat Neeb?
but can he go to the Upside Down?
Season 2 is coming so soon!
You said lots of Stranger Things. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. The trailer was just so well done. Like I didn't watch it, I read about it at first, and someone was like, I'm really glad they used Thriller. And I was like, they used Thriller? Like, how can that possibly work out? And I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, I really like how they used this. Thriller is just inherently a funny song.
Well, I remember you were talking a lot about it. You're like, oh, it's great, it's got that 80s theme, it's this and the other. It's like, I don't want to watch a fucking scary show, right? And I kept avoiding it, and I'm really mad that I did. I wish I had gotten on the hype train, because I watched it like after everyone was done watching it. So I'm really excited to be there for season 2, to watch it live when everyone else watches it, to like be part of the discussion threads and stuff and not be like left out.
Maybe I do vaguely remember that. Yeah. But yeah, I wish I'm glad you watched it, I guess, eventually. It's the super thing that I watched. I rewatched it recently too, and I like that it holds up just for marathon watching. Something in the background.
Oh, Sizzle. Who's this? Blue? Or not Blue. Boo Hilaro. Man, I'm going to say this guy's name wrong, and he's giving us a host, I'm guessing. He says, bringing over some poker viewers. Maybe a couple will stay. Well, hey, kindly thank you to whoever's coming over from the stream, and I'm sorry for not saying the name right. But you know what? That's like 90% of what I do is say the names wrong.
How did you say that name?
Boo Hilaro?
Bolero? That's what I would have guessed.
Bolero?
Bolero?
Well,
I thought you were going like Blue Hero, but it is kind of close to that.
It looks like it's going to say Blue Hero right at a glance.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Anyways, if you guys like poker, hopefully you like StarCraft. It's kind of a gambling game.
A lot of StarCraft players did move on to poker, so a lot of people said there's a lot of his similarities. And they became good poker players too. That's like that's what Elky does, obviously, right now. That's how Gur got popular in Korea when he first started 10 years ago.
I was actually surprised. I remember when I was getting into casting StarCraft like 4 or 5 years ago, I remember casting Elky, and I didn't think anything special. Then it's like, fast forward years later, he's like an all-star poker player. I'm like, oh, that's
4 or 5
cool.
years ago. I didn't think he played StarCraft 2. He did, it was like the first year.
Really?
I thought he was pretty much only a Brood War player, unlike White Raw. White Raw was like primarily Brood War, but he had like a long time in StarCraft 2, about 4 or 5 years before he really quit. I thought Elky quit super early.
I'm positive he played something in early StarCraft 2, but maybe I'm wrong.
Was that the team up where it teamed up with like Hearthstone players and like popular celebrities? Do you remember
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of some. No, I'm so dumb. You know who I'm thinking of? Freaking Elfie.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, there's someone else that has 4 letters and begins with an E-L.
No, but I remember talking because I had. I'll say the story for later, I guess. TLDR. I met Elky at an event. We talked about some StarCraft stuff briefly. But anyways, as the adepts come on in, I was gonna catch the queen. She couldn't quite get up the ramp.
Yeah. Sir, this adept attack is pretty important. It's actually not something we see too often anymore, just simply 6-7 adepts running in. Sometimes the double Oracle, as it was here, it can be quite potent. This time, it's doing okay because it's lasting a while, I think, but it's really not touched the drone line. That's a pretty cool block on the ramp with the adepts. That made at least the Ling trades a little bit better.
Actually, speaking of cool poker stories too, there's a segue here. We got to play poker with a lot of people I never thought I'd ever play poker with at the Legacy of the Void launch, which was kind of cool. Zombie Grub surprised everybody by... so they had like different tables and like I think it was like top 2 advanced. Zombie Grub and Mike Morheim are the ones that advanced from our table, knocking out like Take from Take TV, Apollo, Maynard, myself, friggin' like everybody.
Third table, man. I went 3 tables deep, and on the 3rd table, I remember this despite being pretty tipsy. I only lost because I was literally like a couple of numbers below the exact same hand compared to me, or something like really super close like that. That even the people around me who obviously knew poker a lot more were like, "Should she leave? Like, wait a second." And I felt really sad because the only reason I went to the 2nd table was because Boxer was there. I didn't mean to get to the 3rd table too.
I got relegated to drink. I got relegated to water boy. Frankly, except bringing Zombie Grub drinks was my job was.
I thought it was more Home Story Cup because I remember still drinking. Like people just brought me drinks when I was at the poker table, like alcoholic drinks, and that was how they all piled up together. And then going to the hotel room.
Well, many oracles were made by Neeb, so he's also on this hype train, and it's gonna maybe be a problem for Solar. I mean, he's had the queens since even that first attack, and it looks like he's doing a pretty good job warding them off, but we've just seen the power these things bring. They melt these queens in like seconds flat. Yeah.
It's nice to see that Neeb is also trying out this style, I suppose, the foreigner, even though he's living in Korea and plays very much so like a Korean.
Right, and I'm glad you brought up what I was about to get into, where it's like this is a same latency game for once, you know? It's not NA versus Korea or anything like that. Not that Neeb's ever really struggled cross-server, but it is Korea and Korea.
I nailed that guy's name, by the way. Yeah.
Good. This is why I have you here. A lot of people think it's like for the views because you're a girl. I'm like, no, I just need someone who can say the words I can't.
Nailed it.
I feel like it's the equivalent of like, you know, you start settling for relationships, right? You're like, I'm not looking for a hot girl. I'm just looking for someone who like keep me company. It's like, I'm not looking for a co-caster who's like amazing at the game. I just need someone who can say names because I can't.
Just imagine the most boring person you can ever think of that you've met in real life, or no, even seen on TV or something. Okay, imagine casting with them so much, but they're really good at saying people's names. Would you really settle for that?
No, Zombie Grub. I'd pick you 100 times out of 100. Don't worry.
Because I'm a little more interesting.
You got
a little bit.
You got 2 interesting factors about you. You know what I'm saying?
This is where that guy put up that comment.
Boy, Ripkin sharing sexist to Zombie Grub all the time.
I believe he used the word sexual harassment.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm...
One word.
I'm aiming less for... You know, I can't... I was going to try to defend this, but I realized defending it just makes it worse. So we'll just say, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. We do have this weirdly mass AR army, but this is so funny seeing the Corruptors out. I think it's a good response, frankly, because this reminds me back of the day of Mass Phoenix, right? You'd have to go Corruptor and Mutos combined. You'd have the Mutos hiding behind the Corruptors, like the big brothers, protecting their little brothers type thing, and the Mutos would then dodge around and do a lot of damage.
No.
This combined with the lane run buys.
Right,
Whoa.
This is the first time I've seen the Muta Corruptor thing attempted against the Mass Oracle, so it's going to be interesting. It is a very classic way to go, a very old way to go. But the Ling run buys seem to be an even more effective way at dealing with this in like various other different types of compositions. If they can get in there and kill the economy, then it's Gucci. But Neeb has really good SimCity everywhere. Yeah, that fourth base is like entirely covered.
I've never actually seen anyone do this, but it makes sense. Just throw all the gateways there. It's a full wall off. Now,
well,
if this was like the old days, we'd see Onion Pulse Crystals, right? Like we'd see an easy, clear counter to this, but it's not just about the air, it's about these Lings on the ground, and there are so many of them getting past these force fields.
There's just no good way for Neeb to take care of that. Except
shit.
for that stasis trap. That was beautiful. That is maybe is gonna let Neeb survive.
That is actually the difference of him losing this fight or not, in my opinion. Like, that is so many Zerglings that not only were removed from the fight, but paired with that third force field, they became part of the wall.
Yeah, they did. That's true. That was insane. He had like a very hard choice. He tried to throw down force field, but obviously the banelings, you know, still got through, and the charge was still gonna run up against them. He needed more stalkers, and they were in the main. They're in the natural. They needed to be warped in. That was a perfect combination of things that did eventually lead to a masked stalker army. They have 1/1 upgrades instead of +2, but still 2 upgrades, and they're moving across the map. Solar has 15 corruptors that cannot help with this. So there's a lot of banelings and lings, though. I'm not sure that even with mass blink stalkers and mass charge, I'm not sure he's gonna be able to run into this.
I'm just waiting for that caustic spray to come down. One of these Nexus are gonna get sniped. I don't know which one, but at some point one will.
Yeah, Neeb, you know, because he's not really pushing in here, it is still reinforce. It's very much so looking for the caustic spray.
It's so weird seeing Blink Stalker. This feels like a Heart of the Swarm game, Zombie Grub. Like, we've really gone back in time.
Well, we certainly have. I guess it would usually stick on longer to mute a Corruptor, and you just kind of end the game, either with a base trade or just I lost all my mutas. But no, it's gone to Mass Blink Stalker against Ling Baneling.
There's an interesting dynamic of the burrow coming up, too. We'll see how he plans to use it. I'd love to start seeing some... Even if not landmines, just like emergency burrow on the drones to stop them from dying from these oracles that keep coming in. You're not gonna outrun it at this point. There's no spore crawlers coming down. Meanwhile, corruptors did get to the main. Looks like they're gonna caustic spray this Nexus down. Nope. Peace. God, that's a lot of Zerglings coming out there. We're at 178 Zerglings right now, Zombie Grub.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a very appropriate response, though, isn't it, to Mass Blink Stalker, especially if they're fully surrounded. Something that Neeb is gonna have to try and not let happen.
He's just building them faster than they're dying. He's still staying above 150, easy peasy. But unfortunately, now that the force fields are starting to come down, he's found a bit of ground to hold on to. Blink's coming off cooldown too. He'll start bringing this to the back lines, but it's just an endless wave of Zerglings.
I think he definitely needed more force field, but even without, you know, 6-7 sentries, only 3 of them, he managed to hold on.
While this goes down, though, a base does still get sniped. Caustic spray hype.
But it was the 5th. You know, that's not super important even as the gold mines out quickly. It's still, like, okay for Neeb, who managed to have a better army fight at the end of the day. That +2 was done. He just, you know, he wasn't fully surrounded. The force fields did come down. He might be able to snowball.
I think the blink control is really good here. The upgrades are holding strong, too. The plasma shields are funny to see, but they're going to be effective, too. And Solar's just out of momentum. He's out of juice and, frankly, out of larva and money. GG. Neeb takes the game.
That was such a good game. That was such a good response to the attack with the stasis trap, of course.
Dude, oh, the stasis traps are sometimes, like, it's random, right? It really is. Like, how much does Solar really run in there? And it's just the perfect amount. Like,
Yeah.
Mwah.
But it was also just his response to what Solar was doing, you know? Like, who remembers Muta Corruptor, and then who actually thinks going Mass Blink Stalkers is viable anymore? You just don't do it. But Neeb recognized the situation and just was like, no, Stalkers are the way to go. I'm going to keep on warping these in.
Yeah, that was a sick game out of both players. I will say, though, one thing that is, I guess, a treat is just the fact that, again, that trip back in time, the whole game was themed back in time. And I don't mean like because they forgot to make lurkers or quote unquote forgot to do this. I mean, you still saw the use of the oracles differently than they ever were in the past, blah, blah, blah. But it was something where I think they both knew exactly from years of experience in HOTS what to do. So nobody felt totally clueless in that game. It just really did come down to like bending and eventually breaking, which is what happened there with the Blink Stalker count.
What's really funny is that Muta Corruptor was pretty popular in Heart of the Swarm, basically throughout all Heart of the Swarm. But for the first half of HOTS, Neeb was Terran. Really, for the first 3/4 of HOTS, he was Terran. So
You're right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I remember because
like
that was also the Neeb. It was the days of the nameless Neeb guy, and then also Hitman.
Oh, that's.
And
I didn't hear that. Sorry. What did you say?
I was gonna say those are the days of when Neeb was still nameless, but also the days when like Hitman was the Protoss guy. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't Neeb who was like the Protoss guy. It was Hitman.
Yeah, I do remember that. Of course, I knew who Neeb was. He was on my team as a little fledgling, just barely Grandmaster Terran.
Little Babby.
Exactly. Well, he really was.
Thank you, by the way, very much to D Foxy, who hit us up for another month, coming up on 12 for that resub. And for those who don't know, Zombie is finally going home. Was it tomorrow?
It's like in like 8 hours.
Okay. 8 hours. But the point is, she'll get home, and eventually we can start mailing out those Partoofs. There's not a whole hell of a lot of them that are backed up, but it is 2 months of people who've been asking, like, hey, when am I getting my Partoof? And I just want to let you guys rest assured that we're finally going to be able to start sending those out. So if anyone is missing their Partoofs, don't worry, you shouldn't have them yet anyways, but you'll be getting them in the near-ish future. I guess the soon TM really depends on where you live, too. Shipping can take
It also... There have been some cases of people, like I've sent like this one guy 3 of them, I think, and I if he doesn't get it, I don't know if he's one of the people that said like I don't have it, but if he doesn't get it, I'm just like, you live in a black hole.
You're
like,
just off the list. I'm sorry, kid. Come to a live event, we'll give you one.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only way.
All right, well, we're getting to game number 2 here in the best of 5 finals. Spawning in the top right, he's down at the moment. It's Solar.
In the bottom left, as the yellow Protoss, he's Neeb.
So again, really sick plays out of both that last game, and I think the problem is if the game ever gets to that point where you're playing for a bend rather than a break, because that's really what it was with playing Stalkers, Protoss is usually going to have the advantage in that situation. With things like Storms and Archons, they're volatile, they're dangerous, but they're also used up very quickly. Stalkers and Blink have so much sustainability just by constantly hopping to the back line and regenerating the shields and force fields and all these other factors involved. Like, it was so not Solar's fault, I feel, that he lost that game.
No, it's just really intelligent play by Neeb. There was a point in time earlier on in Legacy of the Void where Banelings were being experimented with, but they weren't like a consistent, solid, dependable composition along with the Hydras and the Lynx. And Stalkers were a way to try and respond to that. Blink Stalker Disruptor was a composition against Zerg at one point in time, not really any longer. So I was, the point is that Stalkers can be okay against just Ling Baneling. Good control, good macro, all that too. But it's like so much easier just to watch people get a bunch of Storms and win that way than is to watch them try and win with Stalkers.
I'm wondering too, by the way, this is a hypothetical because there was no possible way he would have segued, into it. But had Solar gone like Lurkers that game towards the end, like would that have been better versus the crazy Stalker count, or would it just be enough of them to focus fire them? Nonetheless, like I really wish we could almost like go back and replay that map at a certain time and force them to take over, like take command in the replay or whatever, right? At like the exact moment before it got too out of hand, and see how Solar handles it differently, you know?
Yeah, I feel like with just the momentum that Neeb had, whether it was Banelings or just barely morphing in Lurkers in time, there still would have been a lot of Stalkers that had a concave, and they're not. Obviously, it was Blink Stalker Disruptor because Disruptors took care of the Lurkers, but enough Blink Stalkers, enough Charge Lots, I guess, can take care of them too. But that should be kind of an outlier game. To see Muted Corruptor as a response was cool. I'm glad that Solar kind of experimented with that. Maybe he'll do it again. But that was the first time I saw someone deal with a mass Oracle that way. But then going into Blink Stalker after that, that was just a very throwback, weird game, things considered.
Yeah, I'm really sad there's no Anion Pulse Crystals. That was like the one true difference, I guess, of what the old game would have looked like. Well, of course, the onus is on Solar being down in the series to actually be the one to make something happen. I don't know if he's any tricky plans up his sleeve, but I would love to see him pull like a Nurchio, for example, and go Nidus maybe in one of these games. Sure.
Solar is a jack of all trades. He can be aggressive, he can be cheesy, he can be unique, he can be macro.
So this is kind of cool, dude. This is what like wish missile turrets were.
Looks like something in Command and Conquer. I always was so fascinated by the civilian structures in Command and Conquer. I don't know why, I just was. The cities were always really interesting, and they actually had people in it sometimes. I played Red Alert, I guess, for someone who's definitely going to ask.
Played like I think Tiberian Sun was the one.
Yes,
something I played.
I also played that one.
Like I enjoyed Command and Conquer, but at the time I was like a Warcraft boy.
Well, at the time I was just terrible at video games. It's such a weird thing though, because like, on one hand, I never was interested enough or knew that you could be good at a game, I guess is the better way to put it, until I got into StarCraft. Like, to actually learn and study and adapt like a real, like a sport to me was just unheard of. So, in Command and Conquer, I just literally made units against AI and I was like, this is about as good as it gets, right?
Right.
But then, I say it's funny because I'll play Mega Man again, like one of the original Mega Man, Mega Mans.
Mega Men?
And yeah, right?
I don't know.
And then I'll be like, man, this game is so hard right now. I was so much better when I was 7 years old.
Yeah, I used to always, for games, I'd just be like, well, I'm not doing well. Cheat code time. So when I went online, I'm like, what is this? Why isn't power overwhelming working as I get into the BattleNet?
Yeah, I just never like really put a lot of thought into the counters and whatnot. I just like, you know, if this isn't working, then I guess I'm just bad at the game. Give up, bye. The platform makes a lot of sense to me, but RTS is not so much.
Well, Hydralisk's on deck. Charge Lot's also coming out soon. The Adepts here are a little bit scary for these Lings, though. I think they're definitely better to wait until they got the support of the Queens behind them. But in waiting so long, he takes a weird path home, and now this is actually going to threaten that drone line.
Oh, yeah. This is just a few more Adepts than that attack last game. Like 4 more, I think.
Canceling this and getting this over the drone kills might be better. Yeah, Neeb cancel the Shade. I like this choice a lot. I think picking up that Hydra is hugely hurtful towards Solar.
He's going to split the last second, deal with the Banelings, or not have to. Solar preemptively moves to the ramp.
But the ramp's still an okay place for him to fight, as long as the Banelings don't get in here.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty. See, if he got on there without being surrounded by Lings, he splits to have a barrier, and then the rest go somewhere else, and it's so much more damage. At least it ended, but getting the Hydralisk down, getting the drone pull off the mineral line, that might have been just worth it. Behind it, Neeb, obviously, macroing well, not going for 8 oracles, just the 1, has charge already finished up, and a lot of gateways.
Well, I've done it again, guys. I've boosted everyone who's currently tuning in live, so it's 2,300 some odd people that just got 100 Makarovs, courtesy of the GatherBot. You can now afford to arm yourselves for the arena, as the arena battle has begun. See who's going to be the champion today.
I literally have no gear, so let's do this. Alrighty.
I have exactly 400 Makarovs, so it's like all my Makarovs going into this.
I've gotten to the round of 4 so far. I'll probably never get farther than that.
So you're like a Lily Canine.
Whoa.
I mean, it's not
it
shots
is an
fired,
online
but,
cup, I guess.
yeah, it's not shots fired. Like, the guy consistently will get like top round of 8, round of 4 type thing.
The charge lots had one almost. Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, that bailing hit was way too good.
Yeah, that almost happened once, and then it did happen there, so that was nice for Solar, who actually really needs an attack, a hit like that.
I was gonna say, I don't know if he can still capitalize despite how good the hit was.
Right?
I mean, the Warp Prism doesn't warp in reinforcements, and as soon as it does, there's a ton more charge slots right there on the front line. The Hydras can't shoot it down because they're getting eradicated by the Archon. And it's not a lot of units, but even saves the Sentry. The base goes down, and this is just really bad for Solar.
It is. That follow-up. So good. I mean, that was just so perfectly timed, you know? Like, Solar was getting to the recovery process. He was getting his army back up after losing the Hydralisk Den.
Yeah.
10 more supply. That doesn't snowball. I bet you.
Well, folks, we're going to hop to a quick commercial break as we get to game number 3, as it could be the last one. I'm hoping it's not, but Neeb's currently winning 2-0. That foreigner hype here in the Olimoleague. See you guys soon. Yeah, Minnie reminded me of this tweet. I'm really pissed right now, dude. So like, I found one of my friends was having like a kind of crappy day yesterday, right? Her boss was giving her shit at work, and like her cosplay fell apart over the weekend because I guess there was like some anime revolution thing. And she has a boyfriend, so like, and I'm not dogging on her or anything, and she knows I'm not either. It's kind of annoying because people are making friend zone comments. But I'm like, yo, well, come over watch Game of Thrones, cheer you up or something, right? And like, I ordered us a bunch of food because she said she hadn't eaten yet, and I didn't tell her I was ordering food. So food gets here. I text her like, where are you at? Because she's supposed to have been here like 10 minutes ago type thing. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, something came up. I forgot to message you. I have to cancel it tonight. And it's like, fuck you. Like, yeah, I mean, she didn't. I can't be super mad because like it's like she knew I was getting food and like, oh, okay, no money and like whatever's wasted. But it's like, it's just more like. It's like a respect thing, right? That's how I look at it. Like my time's not worth you like taking 2 seconds to like save me 40 minutes. Like, yeah, whatever. Boyfriend probably just presented as shit. I wasn't muted this whole time. LOL, you guys heard that story. All right, we're gonna get into game number 3 here. By the way, that last part I said on purpose because I saw I was unmuted. I'm just glad I didn't use names or I would be in very much trouble right now, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
I hope a lot of you guys are... I just hope... I hope you guys are good people without ad block that don't hear this story. No, you were muted, I was. All right, hey, cool. We're off into game number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, in the bottom right, we've got the red Zerg player, Solar.
In the top left, as the yellow Protoss, he's Neeb.
Also, I guess that's a bit of a taste of some of the in-game, behind-the-scenes commentary that the Patreons... I can't even sell this. We banter during ad breaks when there's nothing going on, guys, and that's what you got a little bit of a taste of if you heard that.
There could have been better stories to have on YouTube. There could have been worse stories, though. That was a middle.
The thing is, that's actually something I would totally complain about in the middle of a game. I'm not actually embarrassed. It's just more of like, oh, I forgot to mute. I'm a dummy. Like, because for us, if you guys don't know the story, because this is like years in the making, right? The big reason why we mute things during the ad break and we don't really have anything going on is like we want the ad section to be so fucking boring that the ads are actually worth watching over the blank nothingness of the 2-minute break we take for these games.
Yeah. 2 years ago, it was kind of funny for someone to be like, did you guys know that your mics are on? They'd just be like, of course, they're always on, but it's definitely changed. So you guys are finally correct in saying the mic is on. Way to go, guys.
Actually, this is great because like the one time it's like, hey, your mic's on, because 99% of the time, yeah, it's like, your mic's muted. You got 3 minutes into the game. You did your intros and your analysis. You're muted. And you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's worse.
Well, Neeb has had a very clean run of things so far, and not just through the 2-0. Game 1, like, it was back and forth, and it was tough, but it definitely went in his favor. Game 2 was the cleanup. So I'm really worried about Solar now. Like, there are some Koreans that can come back from, like, an 0-2 deficit. Like, Byun, he's the guy who classically goes down in the series, only to turn the series around. Solar doesn't really have that history, though.
Yeah, I feel like when Solar loses, he just kind of like, you know, steadily loses. Not really a tilt, not really that he's like supremely the worst player. He just, you know, that's not his day that day. And Neeb seems to be on quite a good day. After all, he 2-0'd Scarlet. Apparently it was a PvP. I don't know.
Apparently.
But he also, I think it was.
I just like, I don't know why, like, even if she is full-time with Protoss, like, why would you still go PvP against Neeb? It's like his best matchup. What the...
Exactly, right? But obviously, like, let's joke, he took out Nurcho in the last series. That was a 2-0. I saw one. Leenock has been the only guy to take a game off Neeb so far. Good job, Leenock.
People really don't want to let this alone. It's heart poured out. Yo, here's the thing, guys. Like, I am probably... And it sounds like such like a cocky, like self-complimentary thing to say, but like I'm a better friend to others than others are to me. So like the thing is with that whole story, the sad reality is I'm kind of used to it. Like whatever. If we're gonna deconstruct or construct like a story around it, I'm just gonna say like it's like whatever. It really. I watched Game of Thrones. I had chicken. I got leftovers from when we're done the Olimoleague today. It's not such a sad end to the story. Although, oh, I wish it wasn't so soon. I want to talk about Rick and Morty, but I can't.
Oh.
So good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't caught up on that either. Anyway,
actually,
so
that's what you should do. Just put a bunch of like Rick and Morty and shit on like your tablet and watch that on the plane ride home.
You're probably right, but I don't really want to pay for it.
Fair enough.
I don't really want to find the sites that
like effort. And now, yeah, I get it.
Right. Well, actually, like literally, I don't have time to because I have to deconstruct my computer. Not totally and entirely, but like a little bit, and put it in my luggage. Anywho. Adepts coming in here. It's not 11 adepts. It is back to the more normal count. I mean, still 9, but I think only 7 came forward.
Banling's in the wrong spot for the start of this. It does get a pretty good connect, but only after most of the lings are gone. So Solar's still going to be struggling here a little bit. Queens are not in the main either. Drones are still being shuffled all over the place, causing him a lot of lost mining.
This feels like the most amount of direct drone damage he's caused. The other ones were like ling attacks and you know, drone pulls and a hydrogen going down, but 12 drones, you know, exact like direct numbers damage going down here, and probably really worth the investment. It took a long time, and it killed 12 drones and a handful of lings. Solar, not very happy with how that went down.
No, 38 drones is not a comfortable number to work on, and I've been leaving the income graph on this almost whole time to show you guys like it wasn't just a spike for Neeb. He's equalized to this point where he's still staying above like 600 minerals a minute. That's so many warp. That's like a round of warp in basically every minute that passes on that Solar can't afford to deal with. Oracle comes in too, and it's a good thing he's got 11 drones on the way because he's gonna lose some. Yeah, 4 only, not bad. Could have been much worse.
Yeah. What really sucks is that his ling attack, I don't think is gonna be able to do anything to the third base, but his main attack, no, I think Neeb's got that covered too. Never mind. He's got a Depths and a Void Ray looking for this Baneling ling drop, and it barely misses it.
Oh, super barely through the Void Ray, turns away. So the barb's gonna get pulled. Okay,
there's no +2.
Well, the big thing here was these things were meant to execute a lot of them, right? Like, this could have actually gone really well if Neeb wasn't paying attention, but Neeb's a good player, and he has his eyes on the ball, so very little to no damage done.
That was all of Solar's Banelings, I think, were just in that Overlord. Okay, so Neeb's not going to risk it. That is probably the better move. Like, he has no Warpers to back this up, so I don't think there's a real reason to just give away what is your only army right now, because he just went for 3 Stargates, so he's building up that other composition.
Well, Neeb has already gotten away with quite a bit this game. I think normally when you're playing an even game with Mass Oracle, this is still really scary to deal with. For Solar to be even a little bit considered behind is kind of very scary. That's the worst stasis trap ever. Freezes out like a Hydra, and that's about it.
Well, going into a lot of oracles, but also starting up that charge on the forge. His third base is not only saturated, but is also getting some SimCity behind it as he puts on the gateways and Solar's still struggling to get to an army. So, you know, that's all well and good if he has a 4th base and drones, but he doesn't, and he's not applying any real pressure to Neeb. Just that single Overlord drop that didn't do very much. So Neeb's getting a lot of advantages. In fact, Neeb might... okay, no, I don't think he will. I mean, last game he had that really just on-point follow-up with a Warp Prism, just barely enough units, well-controlled for the most part, that it was very quickly followed up with a win. I guess he's not going to get that opportunity this time. No Archons, 4th base on the way. The Oracle's not quite in that count that can take on a lot of Hydras.
I'm wondering, do we have actually Infestation put down yet? No. So no chance of Infestors anytime soon.
No, no. He's been, I think it's just like severely delayed, and again, the pacing of PvZ. The Hydras, maybe not late, but not in like the bigger numbers they're supposed to be, with a bigger economy behind them, and again, nothing really attacking on Neeb's side of the map. His third base, never really harassed. His fourth, no attack whatsoever.
After spending 10 million minutes in combat, by the way, Archon and the SCV is the winner of the Grand Arena. It's like
10 million minutes.
I feel like that's 4 or 5 several lifetimes. It's like, was it worth it? You finally win only to die of old age. Like,
yeah, I feel it.
I feel that fight ended in like a grandpa slap fest, right? Like both of them were barely alive but still fighting.
Yeah, exactly. There are banelings there, so don't transfer through that. Ling counterattack was thwarted by reinforcing zealots, it looks like. They're just going to come across the map, probably.
Stasis traps are not good enough. Oracles are getting shreked, but I think they're going to be able to do just enough before going down.
Oracles is so silly. I really thought that would be too many queens and Hydras. I guess technically it still is, but that was a better trade than I gave it credit for. And if they had charge lots supporting that fight, then that probably would have been KO for Solar.
This was a big loss for Neeb in terms of like army, but of course he's had such a good economy behind it. It's not like he's struggling to rebuild it.
No, he's really not. It's a bigger loss for Solar, actually, because Solar doesn't have the typical Zerg bank and economy behind it. Only just now getting that fourth base with even a couple of drones on it. A single lurker, is that really all he has? One lurker.
One lurker and a dream, Zombie Grub.
Yeah. No, don't die, I'll lose the dream. He doesn't have enough energy for Revelation.
I was gonna say, yeah, Bailey's got some good hits, but that lurker's now out of the equation.
Doesn't matter.
Charge lots still massacre the drones best they can. Of course, if Solar decides to just run away from this, which you can't do, then they would just kill the lurker down, which would be just as devastating. Looks like a Bane drop over here that we just barely missed, but it's still not going to be enough. Neeb is going to take the 3-0 domination over the Koreans today. Although I guess the funny thing is, I feel like Nurture did half the job for him by taking out like some of the Koreans, and then Neeb just cleaned up the rest, like by killing Nurture and then Solar.
Yeah, exactly.
Nurture like loosened the pickle jar lid for him. He just like opens it,
the
makes it look so easy.
Jar lid. Kimchi lid.
Basically what it is.
That was clever.
All right, well, that's going to conclude this week's Olimoleague. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks so much for joining us. There is going to be a little bit of like a break for us. Again, our schedule is a little bit all over the place for this month, but it picks up more and more as the month goes on. And yes, Rifkin is still bad. He has not updated the Twitch events list. I'll do that soon, I promise. But we don't really have anything for the next couple of days. Zombie, as mentioned before, is flying home. I don't really have the money to just throw a random event. So the next big thing you'll see is on Saturday with Colonial Wars. That'll actually be with Maynard and Zeph. Zombie and I are not actually scheduled to be back until next Monday. But you know us, we like StarCraft, we get antsy. Maybe we can throw a show match. Maybe we host like a random cup just because all the downtime. I will for sure still be streaming a ton of PUBG in the meantime. I've really enjoyed playing that game. I've really enjoyed sharing that with you guys as well. Some of you have liked it. A lot of you probably couldn't care less, and that's fine. But again, just to emphasize, we're really not going to be cutting back on StarCraft because of PUBG. I know that's how it looks with all this downtime, because there's just not a lot of events going on. There's not a lot for us to cast. But we'll be making more things, like I said, as the month goes on. 2v2 tournaments. We got the Ting qualifiers on the upcoming days, and a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. But thus concludes the Olimoleague for today. So if we don't see you guys in the next week, I hope I do see you after the next week for Monday. Otherwise, Zombie Up, thanks for coming up to join me. Good luck with your packing, and have a safe trip home and all that, I guess.
Thank you. I'm try to have a safe.
Want to say any final shout outs or anything before we take off?
Yeah, of course. You guys actually should follow me on my Twitch channel. I've been playing a lot of Brood War. I guess he's been playing PUBG. I've been playing Brood War. Which one's cooler? The remastered, I really like it. It's just easier to play, even though it's the exact same game. It's just so much easier to load that up. And apparently people really like that too. So the YouTube VODs of any of the interesting games I play are also on my YouTube. So youtube.com/zombiegrub and twitch.tv/zombiegrub. And then I'll tweet out all the things that I do on Twitter @ZGGaming. So much appreciated if you could follow me on all those.
Of course, do us a favor, guys. If you're not willing to sub, if you're not willing to throw some bucks or cheers at us, at least consider hitting that follow button on the channel. So keep picking up that momentum and trying to get as many followers as we can here. It helps us out a ton. Big thank you to Yohas. You just now for the 18-month resub. We had lots of little bit fights going on too, so thank you guys throughout the day for your bits. Full Metal Octopus. We won't win the stream without shouting you out, dude. 12 months as you're all invited to the lake next month in Saskatchewan. If there's gonna be an octopus in that lake, I pass, dude. But thank you for the 12 months. Don't forget to submit a direct message here on the channel so we can send you that form to fill out for your Partoof. Shark Talk 58 comes back for 19 months. Thank you very much. And I think that's everybody. If we missed anyone, my apologies. It's not on purpose. I just don't see it on the list here. For me, follow the channel, as I said. Follow us at BaseTradeTV on Twitter. Follow me at Riff_Kings. Consider checking out our sponsors down below. I guess we're just a sponsor nowadays. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. Have a great morning or afternoon or evening. I don't know. I'm going to sleep. So later, guys.
Bye.